There is nothing more better than coming home after a long day, putting my feet up, catching up on some YouTube videos or TV shows, and playing a nice and relaxing JRPG. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Hi guys, back again with another video. I want to go over some cozy, comforting, chill vibes RPGs that I find that are really relaxing to me and to a lot of other people. I want to preface this by saying the word cozy, chill is very subjective. What's cozy for one person is not cozy for another person. So please let me know any games you think are cozy in the comments down below if I missed it. I'm always on the lookout for some cozy games because life is brutal right now. Now on to the list. Get something nice to drink and cozy up to this cozy, chill vibe, whatever you want to call it, RPG list. First game on the list is Atelier, Escha, and Logy. You guys know I had to put an Atelier game, but especially in this list, it is very fitting. If you guys don't know, the Atelier series has become one of my favorite series of all JRPGs, mostly because of its very lighthearted, charming, slice of life type of gameplay that I love. These games just bring me so much comfort. It's hard to explain, but when I'm playing them, I just feel so relaxed. So to preface this, I am currently playing Atelier, Escha, and Logy, which is the second game in the Dust trilogy. The Dust trilogy has to be the most aesthetically pretty looking one out of all of them. Not graphics wise, but you know, art style, character designs look so adorable and cute. Now with Atelier, Escha, and Logy, it is the first time in Atelier history you get to play as a male alchemist. If you don't know, the Atelier games always tend to focus on a young female alchemist instead of a male. Now I started with Escha, and then after Escha, I'm gonna give Logy a try. Now the Atelier games all are a bit different in the story department, but the gameplay tends to be the same. You gather materials, you synthesize them, you go out to battle and gather more materials, and depending where you are in the game, the story, you know, ups the stakes a little bit, little by little, till the end. My favorite part about the Atelier series is the synthesizing. It can be intimidating at first, not gonna lie, but once you know the in and outs of synthesizing, it is very fun and addicting. I always love to spend a lot of time in the cauldron trying to make the best items that I can make. Now in Escha and Logy, the game takes place 4 years after Atelier Escha. Now the two of them have been hired by their local town to take part in the R&D division. They're mostly in charge of investigating different areas and ruins, helping the towns in the area, and clearing big strong monsters. So they're in charge of a lot of things. Oh, and a lot of characters from Atelier Escha do make an appearance in Atelier, Escha, and Logy. So while you don't really need to play Atelier Escha, I highly recommend you start with that one and then go to Escha and Logy so you could get to know these different characters. Now throughout the story, not only do Escha and Logy grow as alchemists, but they also earn a lot of money, which is needed to buy new recipes, to get more materials, to then synthesize more items. Now this game does have the time mechanic that a lot of people in the Atelier fanbase does not like. Now personally in Atelier, Escha, and Logy, it's not really that big. There is a time limit when you have to do different assignments and things like that, but if you stay on top of things, you'll have more than enough time to spare. Another thing I would like to add is the art in this game is gorgeous. Now it took me an embarrassing long time to notice this, but the artist who did the Dust trilogy also worked on Fire Emblem Echoes. That's why they really look the same, and I was just like, man, I've seen this somewhere. And I just love the art style. It's very soft and pretty, and there's a lot of details on the characters, especially Escha. She has this little tail. Now in story, it's because her mom gave it to her, but it literally moves when she emotes different emotions, so that's kind of weird, but it's kind of cute at the same time. And on top of that, the music is so fantastic. But overall, I highly recommend an Atelier game. They are really relaxing and fun, and you're always in for a good time when it comes to the Atelier games. Alrighty, now on to the next game, and that is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Now this is specifically the Switch version, not the GameCube version. Now this game is the definition of cute, quirky, and cozy, all wrapped up in one amazing adventure. The paper designs and aesthetics are a joy to look at. I don't know, something about Paper Mario really boots me back to when I was younger playing games on a Saturday afternoon. Now the story of Paper Mario really varies between game to game. In the first game, it was your usual beat Bowser, save princess, while in Super Paper Mario, it was a little bit more nuanced and story heavy, which I love. Now in the Thousand Year Door, I feel like they did a little bit of both. Plus the dialogue is just funny. I love the dialogue in Paper Mario. It is top peak when it comes to comedy, for me at least. I know comedy is subjective, but this game is really funny. Another thing that helps a lot with the coziness and chill of this game is that it's very linear. There's a lot of places to explore, but it's not open world, so you don't have to go wandering off or anything like that. Now, as a relaxing game, this game checks all the boxes. It's very chill, the story is not in your face, nor are the stakes too high, but the stakes are not too low either. The gameplay is very simple to enjoy and easy to get into, and the dialogue just leaves me with a big smile every time these characters talk. I love it. Oh, and bonus, the aesthetics of this game is very cute and colorful, and not like people say, oh, it's a baby game. It's a game for everybody to enjoy, no matter what the age. But overall, there is a reason why this game is so beloved by many fans. It is honestly the peak of Paper Mario, and more people should enjoy it. It's a very cozy, chill game. It's not that long, and it's very enjoyable. I highly recommend. Next one on the list is Star Ocean Second Story R. Now, Second Story R is a remake of the original Star Ocean 2, which was released on the PlayStation 1, and this is another Square Enix game remade using their patented HD 2D graphic aesthetic, which makes a lot of older games look new. And I'm always wondering, are they gonna do Final Fantasy VI like that? I would actually love it in that style. But anyways, back to the focus. There's just something that makes this game very comforting, and even though I never played the original, it does give me a sense of nostalgia. I can't really pinpoint why that is, but it just gives me some comfort vibes. Now, with Star Ocean Second Story R being a remake, there are a lot of quality of life improvements from the original. Thank God, because I hate playing retro games with all the retro jank. They're called quality of life changes for a reason. It really changes the quality of the game. Starting with, there are no more random encounters, the enemies are out in the overworld and you can actively avoid them. There's also fast traveling, mini maps that point you in the right direction so you don't get lost. A lot of good things that remove the headaches of 90s JRPGs, giving you more moments to explore the world without any hassle. If that doesn't sound like chill vibes, I don't really know what does. The game also has a focus on character interactions. These interactions are called private actions. They could range from really funny, cute moments to really impactful moments. It's kind of like Fire Emblem, where you could take your time to interact with the characters. And to me, that's very cozy and chill. Now for the combat, it's a bit different than the ones on this list. The gameplay is a mix of action and strategy combat, and this weird mix of action and strategy really makes the gameplay dynamic and engaging. There is a little bit of getting used to when it comes to the gameplay, but once you do, it's very fun and easy to enjoy. Now, one of my favorite things about Star Ocean The Second Story R is the crafting. I am a sucker for crafting in games. I blame Atelier for that, but I just love it. From crafting armor to weapons to different herbs and medicines, there's a lot to do with the crafting. Now, crafting mechanics are something that I find really relaxing. I get to play a podcast or a video or whatnot and just pour hours into making the best weapon I can make. To me, that's very relaxing. And while not the best when it comes to side quests, this game does have a variety of side quests that you could do if you want to take a break from the main story. Overall, Star Ocean Second Story R is a good balance between exploration, character development, and relaxing activities that contribute to a very comforting and enjoyable experience. Now, the next game on this list is Blue Reflection Second Light. Now, this game is made by Gus, the people who make the Atelier game. So you know this one's gonna be a chill one. Now, Second Light is a sequel to Blue Reflection. I never played the first one, which I should probably play it now thinking about it. Though you don't really need to play the first game to understand the sequel. So although there is dramatic stuff that happens in the game, it is still very chill and cute. And really, that's the driving point of why this game is cozy. Like the Atelier series, this one is also character driven. I don't know why, but character driven motivations are way more cozier than, you know, the end of the world or something. So I love when games have character driven stories, and they can range from very serious moments to just funny scenarios. Now, this game does take place in a school, but for whatever reason, it gives me some summer vibes. I don't know why. I also love that this game has a little bit of magical girl aesthetic to it because the characters have to transform. And since all the characters are female, it gives me the magical girl vibe. And I just love it. It's very reminiscent of Sailor Moon, which I loved a lot growing up, and I still do. Although it's not the traditional definition of cozy, there's still high stakes, and there's still mysteries that the characters have to uncover. I feel like they balance the tone of the game really well. Now gameplay wise, it's a turn-based JRPG, but it's really fast and dynamic. And once you get the basics of it, it's really addicting. It has what I love to call flashy attacks. I love flashy attacks. This game has it in spades. It checks off most of the things I like in a cozy chill game, which is aesthetics, character development, exploring, and a fast-paced, flashy gameplay style. Now on to the next game, and that is Harvestella. Now Harvestella for me has been very iffy. When it came out, I loved it, but then I played it some more and I really didn't like it, but then I played it again and I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. And honestly, it does deserve a lot of love. Square Enix was very adventurous when making this title. It's basically a mix of farming sim and JRPG goodness, kind of like Room Factory. Now I will like to add, Square did not really do a good job advertising this game, and the marketing was kind of all over the place, that a lot of people thought it was mainly a farming sim with a little bit of JRPG in it, when in reality it's kind of the opposite. Most of the game is a JRPG adventure with a little dash of farming sim. Now I'm not gonna discount the farming sim elements, they're actually really good. I love harvesting my crops, it feels easy. Equipping your weapons for farming is so simple and seamless. So I feel like the farming sim was very well put together, and also you could use your harvest to cook different foods, which in turn helps you in different dungeons. And I also love how the farming is not overbearing. It's very easy to understand. You just plant, water, and wait a few days until your crop grows. So while I do love crafting and making stuff, I don't feel that way towards farming sims. But hey, overall I still found it very relaxing. The combat is actually the meat and potatoes of Harvestella, which they failed to advertise that, but okay. Overall, the combat is pretty laid back, easy to get into, though the lack of a dodge button puzzles me to this day, and that is like my only gripe with the gameplay. Why would you make an action RPG with no dodge button? Now for the story itself, there is this thing called the Quietus. Quietus is a phenomenon, and you as the protagonist have to figure out what the heck is going on. Now obviously that is a very simplified version of the story, but that's basically your goal in the game. Figure out how to combat Quietus. Now Quietus does do some stuff to your crops, like every time it rolls around it kills all your crops, but the game is really nice and it tells you when Quietus is about to roll around so you could prepare accordingly. You get to explore different areas and meet new characters. Now what makes this game cozy and chill? Well, I'll let you know. It checks off a lot of boxes. Mainly, you could go at your own pace. The farming sim mechanic is actually very chill. The gameplay is not too overbearing, and the story is actually pretty cool. Now Harvestella is a game that was marketed badly. It should have been marketed to JRPG gamers with a little bit of farming sim, not vice versa. But now that it's out and we all know what it is, I feel like it's still a very relaxing and chill game. Alrighty, next one on the list is something I beat recently, and that is Monster Hunter Stories, the first one. In my opinion, Monster Hunter Stories was a way for Capcom to introduce people into the series, and to add the very popular monster collecting mechanic that you see in Pokemon. Now in Monster Hunter Stories, instead of hunting the monsters, you actually have to work together to hunt more monsters. So basically you go through these different dens throughout your adventure and you collect monster eggs, and when you go back to the farm you can hatch them and put them in your party. Now each monster has a set of skills, and depending how rare the egg is, you could get a really good monster with really good skills. So you can work with all the monsters you know and hunt in Monster Hunter World. You can actually have them in your party. Even Kizu is very ugly, but it's like one of those ugly monsters where it's kind of cute. Now I had a red one and I wanted to call it Tampon because that's what it looks like. Now the plot of this game is very simple, and I don't say simple as in like it's dumbed down. If I were to compare it to something, it would be like a Saturday morning cartoon. And while it's not as funny as Paper Mario or anything like that, it did make me chuckle a little bit here and there. Also, this game does have a colorful vibe to it. It was originally for the 3DS, but it was ported to the Switch recently. And while the graphics do look like something out of the 3DS, it's still very fun and enjoyable to explore the different places. So the crux of the game is collecting more monsties, hatching them, giving them cool abilities, progressing the story, and exploring some more. And the gameplay loop is really addicting. So addicting that I beat this game really quick because I just couldn't get enough of it. Now the gameplay of this game is simple but a little bit unique. It's a more rock paper scissors thing where you could do power, speed, or technique, and depending on your opponent's best power, speed, or technique, or which one they do, you can overpower them if you have the opposite. Now the challenging part is knowing what the enemy is going to use because they don't really tell you. So you kind of just have to guess. And also you could ride your monstie. When your kinship level, which is like your bond between your monster, reaches peak, you could do this all-out attack that has different levels. You got level 1, level 2, level 3, and depending on which one you do, you could do so much damage. Now for my cozy chill criteria, it checks off crafting, exploration, and collecting different monsters, which I find very fun, and the gameplay loop is very addicting. Next game is Yeast 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Now I'm currently playing Yeast 9, but I wanted to add Yeast 8 because it's one of my favorite early Switch games, though I do recommend you get it for the PlayStation because the performance is not that hot. But if you don't mind that, get it on the Switch. It's really good. Now this game has you following Adel. Now Adel doesn't really go on adventures, the adventures find him. He is very prone to being in situations which require a lot of adventuring, and the dude really likes it, and his partner Logy are kind of used to it by now. But in Yeast 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, you're on this cruise ship which crashes and leaves him and many other people stranded on this island with a bunch of secrets to explore. Now because this game takes place in an island, you will definitely have that vibrant tropical style. And this is paired off with the many cast of characters that you come familiar with. And I love how you get to see the island change with how many residents that you save. You save a doctor, you save a blacksmith, you save different people who do different things, which has to be the most convenient cruise ship that you were on because all these people with a specific skill just happen to be there. Coincidence? Probably is. I love this game so much, mainly because the whole vibe of the island, the whole lost feeling, discovering different people that you really don't know their motivations, but you kind of need them to do their job. That in itself is very cool, and I really enjoy it. The gameplay itself is pretty addicting. It has an action style combat with different moves that you could equip to each character, and you get a host of different characters. While I won't say the gameplay is the best, it's still good to really turn your brain off, and once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. Probably not a good thing to some people. When you're chilling and vibing, that's a good thing for me. Now I'm gonna say that yeah, this game is cozy because you're on a beach and the beach is very relaxing, and while that's true, it's still cozy for a lot of different reasons. So for the checklist of why it's cozy, number 1, crafting and collecting items. I love that stuff. Number 2, getting to know side characters. And number 3, the gameplay is very fun and easy to get into. This game is like JRPG comfort food. It's comfortable. So pick this one up. I highly recommend. So that is it for this list video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any recommendations for some good comfort games, please leave it in the description down below. Not only for me, but for other people who are looking for comfort games. If you like this video, then please hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And if you like this channel and would love to see more, then please subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. You can find me in my socials in the description down below. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, play a good game. Peace.